Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Peter Soto. I'm an account manager here at storEDGE, and today we're going to be talking about Link Building 101, or how to drive more rentals with quality links. So let's just jump right into it. So today's agenda, I'm just going to start with a short history, a little bit of background information, just to help understand link building a little bit better, just to build a nice little foundation. There's really only two things that we need to talk about just to get an idea of link building. Then we're going to talk about what it is, what link building actually is. And then we're going to talk about how you do it, creating a plan, going through, figuring out what you got and how to use it. What are your competitors doing? Can you get those same sorts of links? How can you do it better? And during that time, I'll also give you some actionable items. And then we'll talk about the future of link building, specifically how's Google going to take link building into account in the future. Real quick, before I jump into this, just a quick disclaimer. This is just a very basic overview of link building. You can go on and on for hours and hours about, different link building tactics or thoughts one way or the other, but we're just going to give like a nice, simple foundation so that you can start link building today. So this brief history that we're talking about, we're going to go all the way back to the genesis of the internet. Tim Berners-Lee creates the internet, late 80s, early 90s, 1989, first connections made. It's basically just a series of interlinked computer networks. And keep that in mind, interlinked computer networks, links, they're going to come up here in a little bit. So, you wait a little while, the internet matures, people start using it. Oh man, how do we search this thing? Because it used to be that you just had to know where you were going. Well, Larry Page publishes a paper on PageRank. This eventually becomes Google's first algorithm. This is the mid to late 90s. I think it's 96 specifically when this first comes about. There are other people doing similar stuff at the time, but Larry Page's PageRank is just that much better than everybody else. That's part of the reason why Google became the juggernaut that it is today, why they take up, so much of the search traffic in the world, or at least in the United States. So basically, a very simple view of PageRank is going to be that it sees links as votes. It's an algorithm that sees links as votes and helps determine what shows up in the search engine results page. So PageRank, here's a little bit of information straight from Google's mouth. PageRank works by counting the number and quality of links to a page to determine a rough estimate of how important the website is. The underlying assumption is that more important websites are likely to receive more links from other websites. Okay, all right. So PageRank, more links coming to you shows that you're more trustworthy, more reliable. The content on your site is probably high quality. So link building, you got to do it. Like that's just one of those things that Google's looking at. So what is link building? They're strategies and actions meant to earn inbound links to a web page. Here's a little bit of vocabulary for what we're going to be talking about here. Link juice. I've just talked about PageRank previously. PageRank's just part of what constitutes link juice. Domain authority. Basically anything that's positive that comes through getting those inbound links from other websites. The SERP. SERP, the search engine results page. That's just basically, when you use a search engine, you type in your term and hit search. It's the page of links that comes up after that. And then visitors, that's just going to be anybody who comes into your website. Anybody just hitting your home page or maybe one of your tertiary pages and they're just on the site, they get counted as a visit. So there are a couple different types of links. First off, we're going to talk about internal links. Now, these are just from one page on your website to another page on your website. They may pass a small amount of link juice, a little bit of that PageRank that we were talking about earlier. And they keep visitors on your site. So, you think of your home page, just clicking anything on your navigation bar and going to another page on your website. That's an internal link. Then we have outbound links. They're from your website to another website, an outside website. They don't bring, they don't bring you more link juice. They actually send link juice to whoever you're linking to. They also send visitors away from your website. Reciprocal links, pretty much what it sounds like. It's when two separate websites link to each other. Link juice does get passed between those two websites, but it's kind of diluted because of the fact that there's a link going from each website to the other website. A little bit of link juice may get passed from the website that has more to the website that has less, but not very much normally. And then inbound links. That's from when another website links to your website. They may pass link juice to your website. We'll talk about a couple situations where they won't down the road in the webinar. But for all intents and purposes, just think of those inbound links as links that pass you link juice, that help you rise in the SERP, that help you get more visitors to your site, and eventually lead to whatever conversion you're trying to get those visitors to take. And then, so they direct visitors from another website to your site. So inbound links. Are all inbound links created equal? The short answer is no. They range from high quality to harmful, and I'll show you a little bit later on how to detect harmful links. So what makes a high quality link? Well, they come from a reputable source. Think, CNN.com, WhiteHouse.gov, really well-known websites. Maybe university websites with a .edu ending. These are websites that really don't need to go out and try to find links. They're websites that already have high quality information. They show up when people search terms related to them already. They're just very trustworthy. For you guys in self-storage, high quality links are also going to be local. They're going to be people in the city that your facility is going to be in, maybe the county. State's stretching a little bit, but still good. And then they're also going to be industry specific. So if there's a link coming to your website from another website and it's a storage related website that's linking to you, that link is going to have more value in Google's eyes than a link coming from, say, a zoo or something completely unaffiliated with your site. So then how do you know if a link is harmful? Well, it comes from a spam site. We've all seen these spam sites. They have really poor content. They're just covered in ads. They're just packed with links. They're obviously not intended for anybody to really use. They're just there to sort of, be link farms, basically. They normally have low domain authority, which I'll show you how to check that out here in a little bit. They've got low quality content. And for you guys, in the storage industry, they're not really related geographically. They're not going to be in the same industry that you're in. And then I'll leave this link here. I'm not going to go into the disavow tool at all because it's kind of complicated. But if you notice that you have a lot of links coming from these spammy sites, these low quality sites, Google actually has a way for you to pull them off of you in a way so that you don't receive any sort of penalty for having a lot of those kind of links. High quality links, this is just some stuff to look for. What is the domain ending on that? Is it a .gov, a .edu, a .org, .mil? Trustworthy sites will normally have those kind of domain endings. Like I said earlier, where is this website come from? Do they even say what city, state they're in? Do they have any geographically modifying language on them? If they're close to you, great. Awesome. If they're far away, might be a little suspect unless there's some sort of, national industry website, inside self-storage or something like that. And then they've got high quality content. The content on those sites is meant to be used by people. It was written with a purpose. Low quality links, you're going to see a lot of .com, .net. Not all .com are bad. Most of them are really good, but you don't see a lot of spam sites using that .gov or .edu domain ending. You see more often than not, lesser used or more easy to acquire domain endings. .com, .net. They're stuffed with keywords. Sometimes the grammar, syntax, just the way the sentences are put together, just doesn't make sense. They're really easy to spot. So why would I want a link builder when I could just go out and purchase links? Should I purchase links? Here at Storage Ahead, we don't really encourage link purchasing. Going to a webmaster and saying, hey, I will give you X amount of money to give me a link or to link to me from your site, that's a big no-no. That actually violates Google's terms of service. There is a difference between paying for links, what I just described, and then creating content, paying someone to create content that you can use to then get links from other places. It's good to make that distinction. People get confused sometimes and say, oh, well, I spent X amount of money on an infographic and it got me so many links. Yeah, that's okay. But if you're just going to people and just offering them straight cash, it's a little bit of a different thing. There's not really any sort of reciprocity. There's no value being generated there. You're just sort of giving someone money. They're giving you a link. Google's business is to show the most relevant search results to their customers. And if people are just not creating that value and just paying for links, that really doesn't help Google's mission. But if you're going to do it at your own risk. Paid, like I said, paid links that pass PageRank violate Google's guidelines. If you do, there's a way to tell if they're no follow links. They can still generate visitors. I mean, that's a good thing about them. They won't violate terms of service if they're no follow. And I'll show you how to tell if your links are no follow. You can just discuss with whoever you're getting the link from whether or not they no follow those links. So no follow. What is it? It's an HTML value. Stick with me. I know this sounds like technical spaghetti, but it's actually very simple. You go into the source code of a website, and I'll show you here in a second. They don't pass link juice. You go into the source code of a website, and you just look for no follow. It's going to be a piece of code that looks like this. And I'll actually go ahead and show you a little bit right now of that. So here's just a really simple page. It's just a resource page for a military base here in Washington. And so I'm just going to go over and I'm going to pick, helpful resources, attorneys. Sure, we'll look at the attorneys. So, here's some listings for some attorneys. We'll go in and we'll go and view the page source. And so now you're looking at the source code. Real simple, just Control F to find, and then just search no follow. Oh, and there you go. So you're seeing here that the link for this attorney, Jason B. Newcomb, it's a no follow link. He's not gaining any of that link juice from his link on this website. Maybe he's getting some visitors from that. Not really sure how they got links to this website, but either way, this link, if he did pay to have it on there, would not be violating Google's terms of service. So we'll go back here. Bear with me. So now that we know about a little bit about links, good ones, bad ones, what's the plan? Well, there's a question that you should ask yourself first. Why should people link to you? What value are you creating to make them want to come to your website? So how can you provide value? People in self-storage, people who are renting self-storage for the first time, maybe they don't know what to do. Maybe they don't know the process. That fear of the unknown is something that you can definitely look to and remedy, and it'll bring you links. You've got ideas and expertise in a field that not a whole lot of people know a whole lot about. You've also got a lot of resources that they need. You've got storage space. You've got packing supplies. You have rental trucks and access to them. You have people who know what they're doing and have been doing it for a long time. Everybody from your CEO to your facility manager, has some sort of expertise that people can pull from. So you just have to figure out ways to pull that out, package it in a way that people are going to want to link to, and put it on your website or provide value in some other way. Relationship building. So are there local people, institutions that you can partner with? We have a lot of clients over here at Storage Ahead who they do a lot of outside marketing as well that brings them closer to their community, that really makes them a pillar of their community. They partner with other local institutions. Sometimes those result in reciprocal link situations, where they're getting visitors and they're high quality visitors likely to convert, but not a whole lot of link juice is passed. So like I was saying before, Google wants to show the most useful, relevant results. So think about, as I go through the next few slides, think about how can your website and your business and the things you have to offer, how can that be useful to people? And how can you package it so that they will want to go to the page with that useful information on it? Relevant in Google's eyes is location and industry. Like I was saying earlier, with storage, it's such a local industry, it's such a local market industry that you're going to want to try to narrow down as much as you can. Try to get links from people who are in the same city as you. But always keep the consumer in mind. You can't really tailor everything that you do to search engines because they don't like that. They want things to be tailored to serving customers. So the first thing to do is audit your link profile. So how do you audit your link profile? Well, there are actually a lot of services out there that can help you do this. We use Open Site Explorer. I'll show you that here in a second. But basically you just go, let's go ahead and do that now. You just go to Open Site Explorer. And so you'll put the URL of your domain in here. And this is a free service for a few times, just to see it. If you want to use it regularly, you'll have to pay for it. But just for our intents and purposes, I'm just using a free account. I've already done a search for a really high-quality domain, cnn.com. So basically, you would put your URL in that search bar. hit search, and then Open Site Explorer is going to show you what links are coming to your site and where they're coming from. So let's just take a quick look. These are, some of these links are internal. Some of them are coming from other people. You'll get to see the page authority, the page authority, the domain authority of those sites. See, here's one from Huffington Post, another high quality site, an internal link from money.cnn.com. Here's one from Time, another really high quality site. So let's scroll down a little bit. Redirects. Here's a no follow link, what we were talking about earlier, from Wikipedia. They're not getting any of that link juice from Wikipedia, but maybe people are coming to CNN.com from that article. So yeah, you just look around. I know there's one from Technorati right there, a really well-known technology news outlet. So you go through, put your URL, the URL for your website in here, see who's already linking to you. If you see that you've got a lot of high quality links, high domain authority, great. Then something's already happening. Maybe you're already doing link building. Maybe you've just lucked into some things. If you see a lot of domains with low domain authority linking to you, around 1 or very, very low in the single digits, it might be worth looking into those to see, are those spam websites? How many of them are linking to me? A couple's okay, not a big deal. But if the majority of your link profile is low domain authority links, that can probably cause you some problems. If it's really, really bad to the point where Google thinks that you're trying to link farm or game the system in some way, you could end up being de-indexed for that. So go ahead, run your URL through there, see what you got. And so look at what pages are getting the most links on your website. Why are they getting those? Are they resource pages? Are they moving tips? Are they what lists of supplies that you have in your on site? Is it your truck rental page? What are the most popular pages on your website, and why? Like I said, how many links came from pages with low domain authority? Another thing you should do is, once you've got a good idea of what your link profile is, you should take that tool, Open Site Explorer, Ahrefs.com, Majestic SEO, whichever one you decide to use, and go through and audit your competitors' link profiles. So how do you find those? Well, first, you search Google for phrases you want to rank for. Phrases that you think people who are looking for storage in your area are going to go to. So, normally it's stuff like self-storage, city, state, whatever your city is, whatever the state you're in, or storage units in city and state. Something along those lines. A couple searches like that will give you a good idea of who's getting ranked well in your area. So go ahead and take those URLs that you find that show up for those search terms and run them through there. See who's linking to them. Why are they linking? Are there opportunities for you to get linked on those sites as well? Do you have the same sort of content, the same sort of value that those other that those other domains had? Just something to think about. And so once you've identified a few of those websites that are already linking to people around you, go ahead and find the contact information for, whoever runs that website. Just shoot them an email, say, hey, I noticed that you're linking to this person. I also provide this service. Make a case. Give them a reason to link to you. Just show them that you're providing value and that they would do well to link to you so that more people would come to their site. So you've mined. You know what your competitor's doing, you know what you're doing. So what are some other ways that you can go out and link build and get people to want to link to pages on your website? So here's some really, really, the very first thing I want to talk about is just some really easy, low-hanging fruit, directories and local listings. So, first off, they're really easy and there are a ton of them. Some examples, you think of local.com, Yelp, CityGrid, CitySearch, Manta. You may have heard of some of these. Basically what you do is you go to these sites and try to find if your business already has a listing on those sites. If it does, claim it. You may have to create a profile on the site or an account of some sort, but claim that, verify it, and make sure that all of the information on it, the name, address, phone number, website, is the same as what's on your regular website. The reason that this will help is because the big search engines, Google, Bing, Yahoo, they all looked at these directories for information as to what is the correct information on the internet. If they see a lot of varying phone numbers, varying addresses, even variance in the name of the institution, the business that is on these local directories, they're not going to think that it's very trustworthy. They're trying to provide high quality information, and if they see a lot of variance, that's not very high quality. That's kind of confusing, even to Google. Something I want to hit on real quick. A lot of people don't look to their local chamber of commerce, Better Business Bureau, or the website for their city or county government. Those are really easy places to get links. Sometimes local libraries will have lists of businesses, another place that you can go and get links. You just have to go out and look and see what's out there. So reaching out, you've got the ability to give discounts on things. That's not really paying for links. It's just incentivizing people, giving them a reason to link to you. And you've got partnerships too. You're not the only business in your space. You're not the only business in your location. Other people are looking for leads, for possible customers. And it's pretty easy to link to them if you can make a case. So incentives, think about it like this. Storage, packet supplies, rental trucks, what we've talked about. Are there any military bases by any of your facilities? You probably already get some traffic from those military bases. Could you get more if you offered a discount? Sure. How would they know about the discount? That military page I showed you earlier, the one in Washington, they weren't getting any link juice from that site, but I'm sure they're going to get visitors. Those sites are resources for the soldiers to provide them with what they need, when they're shipping out, when they're coming back. Be a part of that community, engage with them. Think about colleges and universities. Like I said earlier, the .edu domain is a very, very trustworthy domain. You're not really going to get it unless you're a trustworthy institution. If you've got a facility near a college or university, you're probably seeing some students, come in and go out as the school years start and end. They need storage space too. Same sort of thing. Offer a discount. Approach the university website, whoever's running that. They probably have some sort of resources page for the students. And just pitch them, say, hey, look, I offer this discount. Give me a link on your website. Maybe it'll be no follow. That's not such a bad thing. You're still going to get visitors from it. National parks, we've seen a few of our customers have success with this. A lot of those have a .gov domain, very, very trustworthy domain ending. And those national parks, have people who bring their RVs in. If you've got RV storage, try to set something up with that national park. They probably have a resources page too, or some sort of partnership page. They can definitely recommend you as well to their customers as a place to store their RV in the off season. Think about retirement communities. If there are any retirement communities near you, moving from a house to a retirement community, you're going to have a less space than you did before. Those retirement communities, maybe they have some sort of, support page, some sort of resources page that you can get to. Just look into it. Approach the people who run the website, make a case for the value that you're bringing them and their customers, and hammer something out. And think about other businesses near you. Link building can be a really, really creative endeavor if you make it. If you, not only look at what you've already got, but looking at what you can provide. Maybe it's something that your competitors are already providing. Maybe it's something that nobody else does yet. You guys know your business better than we do, and the specifics better than we do. So you just got to get creative, look at what you've got, and use it. Another thing you can do, blogging. We talked earlier about industry experts. Everybody from your CEO to your facility manager. Have them blog a little bit. Have it be. The blog needs to be hosted on your domain. It can be everything from the easiest, simplest information storage tips, or you could have your CEO write something about the state of the storage industry in your area. Maybe there's something newsworthy happening in your area. That there are natural disasters that happen all over the country, and we've seen a lot of our customers really address those as a self-storage provider. People's if a tornado in Oklahoma, if someone's home is destroyed, or maybe they need to move out for a little while, they're going to need a place to store their stuff. Offer a discount, become a member of the community, help the people around you. Good altruistic acts are gonna help you become a more reliable, trustworthy company, and it's going to give people news agencies local websites a reason to link to you. Yeah. So, yeah, we pretty well covered everything there. So another way to build relationships is through guest blogging articles. There are lots of industry websites out there, that need content. Why shouldn't it be content that comes from someone at your organization? Your CEO, your CFO, people who have expertise that other people in the industry would want to know. Write something up, something that you really know about. Make yourself a thought leader. And then get whatever institution, whatever news outlet or website that you're having that you're pitching your content to, have them give you a link to, post a link underneath your name, whoever authored it. Just what we were talking about. If you do this enough, you're going to develop a relationship with these institutions. They're going to be more likely to link to you in the future. Don't be stingy with links either. Also link out to people who are linking to you. Engage them on social media. Share and like their things. If you've got a good back and forth going, sort of a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours sort of thing, it can really pay dividends in the future. So yeah, trade industry websites, that's something that we talked about. Local newspapers, any newsworthy stuff that happens there. You can normally, get at least a mention there. And then, anything unique about your business facility. We have a couple clients here at Storage Ahead who also work with some charities. The Susan G. Komen Foundation is one of them. You'll be able to, again, they have a sponsors page, people who contribute to them. You're going to get a link from that. If there's any, speaking of sponsorships, we have a couple clients who sponsor Little League baseball teams. And those city Little League baseball websites do have a thank you page for people who donate money or time or what have you. Those are nice local, not industry specific, but local websites that you can get links from. We have, I've heard of I saw recently in the news a while back, industry news, that there was a facility, I can't remember exactly where it was, that for charity let people come in, of all skill levels and paint the units, just the doors, just sort of a little charity fundraiser. We had a client a while back who had a petting zoo nearby the facility. There was just a lot of land. That's another way to bring in customers, something to write about, something to get people to link to, animals, children, cute things. Write about that, put it on the blog. Someone, will be able to pick it up. You just got to find the person who wants to talk about that and pitch it to them. Same thing. We had another client who had an orchard nearby, and would let people come and pick apples for free, if they had rented a storage unit. That's unique, interesting stuff about facilities that you wouldn't normally think of. And I'm sure that you guys have something like that. So yeah, just what we talked about a little bit. Got a little out of order there. So pros and cons. So pros, it's going to help you rise in the SERPs. It's going to help you, link building, is going to help you rise in the SERPs. If you get good high quality links, you're going to move up. Just be on the lookout for some of those, harmful, spammy links. Too many of those are going to hurt you. They're going to help drive more visitors to your website. Eventually that's going to lead to more conversions, more rentals. Whatever action you're trying to get those consumers to take. It's going to help build your brand. If you're writing, on your blog and providing information of value to the people in your community, if you're, engaging with other businesses in your location, through social media, your website, what have you, they're going to get to know you more. You're going to become more top of mind. Just those relationships will, like I said earlier, pay dividends down the road. The cons, it's really expensive. There are lots of firms out there that specialize in link building, but they charge top dollar for it, and it's because it's really time consuming and really difficult. Sometimes it's hard to get a hold of the person who runs the website that you're trying to get a link from. There are just tons of things that could come up. And, if you're a link building company, yeah, you're going to take on that responsibility, and that responsibility is going to cost money. So the future of link building, how is Google going to see links in the future? PageRank was their very first algorithm. It's stuck with them through, since their inception. I'm sure it's changed a whole lot. But it's not going away. Link building is not going away. Links are their importance may change, but it's never going to be phased out completely, from what we can tell right now. What does that mean for you? It means that you just have to provide value to the people who are searching for information in your space. Make those relationships count. Social factors are going to become more important. We've already seen it. A lot of our clients who are more active on social media, Twitter, Facebook, what have you, Google sees those social signals going out, and if you're engaging with your audience, Google's going to see that as a more trustworthy website. So, that's basically it. Hopefully I didn't go into anything too in-depth. I just want to give you guys a nice brief overview of what link building is and a couple strategies for doing it. Let's see if anybody has any questions. Okay, so we got a question that came in that said, what about YouTube and how can it help? YouTube, it's nice to think about video, first off. There are not a whole lot of storage facilities and companies doing video out there. YouTube is not the first site that I would think of. I would think of a third-party hosting company, and this is actually getting into some sort of advanced stuff, but we'll talk about it since it got asked. I wouldn't use YouTube to host my videos specifically. I would use a company like Wistia. They're somebody that we've used in the past, and they actually have a really good setup for using video for SEO. The problem with YouTube is if you host your videos on there, those views and the signals that YouTube or that Google is going to see from people watching that video are going to go to your actual YouTube account and not to the domain that the video was on. Hosting through a site like Wistia, though, will make sure that domain authority, that link juice, the nice things that Google sees that makes you rank higher, will go to your website rather than to your YouTube account. Video is very important, and you can also use it in your local listings too. That's another avenue for that'll help you with video. Not a whole lot of local listings have video on them, especially in the storage industry. So if you can just come up with even really, really simple, 30 seconds, iPhone video of, here's the unit that's on special this month. It's a 10 by 10. It costs this much. Here's a short video of it. You can have your managers do that. It's really simple. YouTube, it's a nice little social platform, but there are better ones out there for what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get, the rank of your website up, definitely use a third party like Wistia. So we just got a question that asks, how much should you pay for link building? And that's kind of a tricky question because, you get what you pay for, but you also have to be aware that there are some people out there who just don't do it very well and charge a lot. Don't get taken in by $50 link building plans. A lot of link builders out there are gonna rely on content, and content is normally expensive to produce. You can go out and get a lot of low quality sort of spammy links for a little bit amount of money, or you can take the time to work with somebody who's gonna, really understand your industry, really understand what you're going after, and create content that is going to bring you the kind of links that will help you rank locally, geographically, and in your industry. Creating content like that can take thousands of dollars, but you're going to get high quality links from it. It's just sort of a buyer beware thing. Be really wary of cheap, but also be wary of expensive. Just, ask them what they're doing, really grill them about their plan. Keep an eye on sort of your visitors, some good metrics for, seeing if link building is working for you. Take note of, how many visitors are you getting before link building happened? These efforts taken by whatever company that you hired. How about conversions? What is your conversion rate on whatever you're trying to do? For example, did your rentals go up afterwards? Are they bringing in, is the type of link building that they're doing, bringing in people who are interested in renting self-storage? What was your domain authority? What was your page rank beforehand? Running your site through OpenSite Explorer, one of those services that I listed earlier. Did you see an increase? And then, obviously, what was your position on the SERP before and after? So I've got a question over here that says, for an SEO plan, how important is link building compared to other factors such as keywords, PPC, and other SERP factors? Well, it's important to remember there are, more than 200 different factors that Google looks at in their algorithms to rank websites. Link building is just one of those. I mean, there's even, you can really cut down into link building into a lot of different, subcategories of what's happening when you're building links. We'll just go through keywords. I assume that you mean just the content on your website. Content's always going to be king. I mean, that's going to be the thing that people are linking to anyway. Having well optimized keyword rich content is nice, but the thing that you should be striving for is having content that helps the people who are coming to your website. PPC, that's, we actually see that the cost per acquisition cost per lead is actually very, very high with PPC in the self-storage industry. So we actually hear we kind of discourage PPC a little bit just because there are other better avenues that you could spend your money on, like link building. However many hundreds or thousands of dollars. I mean, some cases I've seen tens of thousands of dollars spent on link building. You could take that money that goes to PPC, and PPC, it's going to be, sometimes they're going to be misclicks. Sometimes those people aren't going to convert. And as soon as you stop spending, those links are gone. Those impressions, the number of times people see your name out there, they're just gone. But with link building, the money that you spend will stay somewhat, down the road. Like you're going to have the initial boost from the link, and as time goes on, maybe the boost that you see may lessen a little bit, but it's still always going to be there. Whereas with PPC, once you cut it off, it's cut off and it's gone, and that's the end of it. So it's you sort of got to do a cost benefit analysis on that. Is the money that you're spending on PPC, worth the rentals that you're getting, or do you think that you could just try it for a little while, diverting that money somewhere else, and just giving link building a shot? So we got a question here that says, when you're blogging and you want to link to another site, do you just paste the website into the blog? I mean, you could do that, and then that would pass that link juice. Just make sure that whatever platform you're on is not setting those links on your blog to no follow. Even more importantly, if you want to be really nice about it, and you're kind of an advanced user, you can take that link and you can put it into some anchor text. Anchor text is basically just the words in a sentence, in some copy that you set to be a hyperlink. So if you set it to something that's specific to that company, has the word storage or whatever industry that they're in, that can be a nice thing to do. That's another factor that Google looks at. But yeah, I mean, either way is fine. Just pasting it in there is good, or putting it on some anchor text. Okay. And I'm being told that is actually going to be our last question. Thank you guys for joining me. I had a lot of fun doing this. Maybe we'll catch up later sometime, and I'll go into some more advanced link building tactics. But I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves, and hope you're having a good day. Thank you all for showing up. It's been good.